With the debacle of some of the Caribbean CBI programs, I'm going to discuss 5 African options. The focus is all on the Africas. The spotlight is on the Africas. There are a couple of, and this is a bonus, there are a couple of CBI, citizenship by investment opportunities that the governments are looking at in that region. I'm going to disclose that. I'm going to give you a sneak peek into the progress and the future of that, the likelihood of those programs. And then after that, I'm going to deep dive into the 5 African options that you can take a look at that are existing today. Now, the reason why I'm using the word debacle is because some of the Western governments are directly, or I should say indirectly, controlling some of the Caribbean CBI options. And that's one of the biggest reasons. Although I'm not anti-Caribbean CBIs, I do think they have certain use cases. You know, some people like them, some people like the numbers, so they like having some options in place, and they like to look at it as a stepping stone of sorts. What you do have to be careful with is the whole tracking mechanism and the information that you're providing. So access and just having a passport and thinking you have the numbers is all good stuff, but you've got to be aware of the ramifications and the amount of information that you're exchanging with such third parties. And one of the reasons why I rarely ever recommended any CBI program, if you have been a follower of my channel, I predicted all of this. I knew all of this because there were already a lot of tracking mechanisms in place, a lot of stuff in the pipeline that I kept tracking and monitoring throughout the course, and a lot of the marketing agencies never like to listen to that, never like to hear all of that. They keep preaching to their customers as, you know, how that's all BS crap. It's a strong country, strong nation, they'll fight it out, and their own country, and all those kind of things. Nonetheless, now I think most of you who have been watching my channel in the last couple of weeks already know what has happened and what is happening. So the future looks bleak on that side, but what the future really looks good on is the African side. The 2 programs, the CBI programs that the governments have shared some plans or the interest in launching are the Kenyan and the Uganda CBI programs. Now, again, they're not finalized yet. They haven't been released. There have been initial talks. In the early part of the year, there were some solid talks of formulating the program, selecting the agents and all of that kind of stuff. So there is still some progress that is happening on those programs. With the whole crackdown, with the whole situation, obviously it's going to take some time, right, to figure things out. But I have certain resources that we are closely tracking and monitoring the progress of those programs. Now, if you're not an advanced polls and chat member, then take the opportunity and join the community, because that's where we discuss a lot of this information. Even before any video is created, a lot of information is posted over there. Again, tips and tricks are also discussed in that forum, so make use of that. And if you're not subscribed, at least go ahead and turn on the subscription and the bell notification, so once any breaking news is released, you're the first one to get notified and watch that video in a timely manner. The 5 African options that I'm going to cover are Namibia, Tanzania, Mauritius, South Africa, and Egypt. Now, when you talk about Namibia, it's an up-and-coming destination. A lot of people are closely watching Namibian program, looking at an investment of around, and this is diversification. So although the investment threshold might be slightly high, but if you're looking to diversify, move your funds into the Africas, then Namibia is an interesting location. You're looking upwards of 315, 320K USD. If you have that much investment, then you can immediately qualify for a Namibian residency. So that's one option. You have the Tanzania, the Zanzibar program, similar deal. You purchase a villa, diversify your monies in Tanzania, in Zanzibar area, and you can qualify for an immediate residency over there. Your investment is secure, you're financially diversified, and you have a jurisdiction that is pretty interesting if you are someone who likes the Africas and likes doing some business over there, or at least who likes diversifying across the globe. That's the second option. The third one is a favorite for a lot of people, a very solid option, the up-and-coming star of all the African programs is the Mauritian residency. Now, the Mauritian government is very pro-immigration these days. You know, they are interested in getting a lot of attraction. They have attractive programs In Mauritius, if you want to get a residency, it's pretty quick and easy. From a financial standpoint, there are a couple of categories. We're looking at $1,000. Let's say you're retired, you immediately get started with $1,000 in application fees, and that gets you straight. Obviously, there's going to be some processing fees, lawyer fees, etc. Let's say you are not retired, you want to start a business in the country. The same deal, you can get started with $1,000 in application fees. Obviously, you got to put some funds in the business and show operations. So that's one way. If you're looking to diversify, buy a property, 375k USD immediately gets you a residency in Mauritius. And let's say you want to fast track yourself to citizenship in a couple of years, then you're looking at slightly more in investment. So you get that, you get your hands on that all important, solid, one of the strongest in the African region, the Mauritian passport. Seychelles is also an alternative. Again, you're looking upwards of $1 million to get the Seychelles option in place. That's again equally strong passport, but slightly more expensive than Mauritius. Then you have the South African program, which is pretty interesting. A lot of people who are looking for a low-key, cheap, quick option. South Africa is a very nice option if you're looking for that pathway to citizenship, especially when I say fast, I'm talking about a flexible residency, which is fast, right? So the residency itself, you're looking at 6,800 USD of government donation. You have a modest net worth, you qualify, and that puts you in line for your citizenship. It gets you the permanent residency. It's flexible, so you can spend as less as you want, as much as you want. Towards the end, between the 4th and the 5th year, if you're spending a year in the country, then you can qualify for that very important South African citizenship at the end. If you're someone who wants to outright purchase an African passport, immediately wants to get an African passport, then you have Egypt. There are two options here. One is the 250k in donation. This is not the best, but if you're looking to invest that capital or donate that capital, then you can immediately get an Egyptian passport. The second option is more interesting, which is a property purchase of 500k in the new capital. Now, mind you, this is, although it is a government approved situation, it does have demand. A lot of people from the old capital, the original capital, they are investing or they are interested in this new capital. So a lot of investors, local investors, are looking at that as a decent opportunity because they know there's going to be investments from outside. And the target market is not someone who's looking for access and stuff, right? Someone who has a Western passport is looking for capital diversification. So if you're looking for diversification, then all these things make sense. These are for the slightly elite audiences. You want to get your cash out of the Western pockets, right? The Western control. Then you have all these exotic African options in place. Now, apart from all these African options, you also have the rich Latin options, which I constantly keep covering on my channel. So if you have missed out on any of the Latin options, go check out. I have hundreds of videos which covers all the Latin countries in detail, and we have attorney coverages in most of the programs that we support. So you can always click that link in the description, discuss, we can narrow down which is the best option that fits your situation, and also get you started with that residency. Getting started, the residency might be flexible, but you got to start somewhere. So getting started is very important. So the moment we can have that discussion, we can get you started as soon as possible. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, make sure you're subbed, and catch you in the next one.